When I was digging out PCBs for my PCB wall recently, I came across these. These are some boards I picked up on eBay a few years ago because they just look very intriguing. They're clearly military spec. I was really fascinated by the construction because it's just so completely different from anything that you'd normally see. There's 4 different boards. They're clearly part of a computer system. There's CPU, memory, async and sync serial interfaces, and an SCSI SCSI interface, presumably for a hard disk or something. They're actually made in these these are heavy, like 2 or 3 kilos each. They're made of two PCBs on a bonded to an inner, like a metal inner core, which is presumably for heat dissipation, and they're actually clamped in. There's this clamping arrangement that obviously is designed to compress this plate against something for conduction, cooling and the heat out. So they're heavily conformal coated. Everything's ceramic. I can't find a single bit of plastic on the circuit boards at all. It's all ceramic. Even the lead is a hermetic package with a glass lens, as far as I can tell. Most of the chip numbers are weird, undecipherable. There's a few 54 series TTL from Texas. Most of the date codes are about 8990 thereabouts. Say there's all sorts of just really, there's hardly any component on here that you'd recognise as a normal component. Obviously you've got these massive great ceramic capacitors. All the resistors look identical, but if you actually look closely, you can see there's tiny little black marks on them which look like they're actually been individually laser trimmed. So it looks like instead of making resistors to different values, they sort of make one resistor and then trim them to value. I can only imagine they're trimmed before they go on the PCB, because the actual trim lines are in different orientations on here. A lot of these parts are made by Raytheon, but interestingly some of them appear to have actually been remarked Raytheon. You might be able to see there, it's quite clear the original marking's changed and the Raytheon's gone in red. So I don't know if that's a company name change or their own in-house coding for a standard part, I don't know. So that's the CPU. I'm not sure if that's the CPU or the stuff on here is, because there's another fairly similar looking chip on the memory board. This is the memory, 16 megabyte memory board, tons of, again, metal ceramic packaged memory chips. I'm not sure if that's SRAM or DRAM. 4C1024-12 it says on there. The number of pins could be either actually static or dynamic. And on the side, so you've got another one of these massive grade interfaces. The connectors, they've got these sort of backplane connectors, and these are actually metal. These aren't plastic, these are actually metal, these connector frames, and they're connected on via these flex PCBs that are soldered onto the board. There's also flex interconnecting the 2 sides of the PCB. There's quite a lot of chips like this one with labels on them. Some of them I'm guessing are probably either bipolar proms or programmable logic devices. There's also some UV erasable on one of these. There's some Cypress UV erasable PLDs. I've got one somewhere with here's one with the lid off, the label taken off. That's a UV erasable programmable logic device. This is the SCSI interface. One of the few recognisable chips is an NCR 53C90 SCSI interface chip on there. It's one of the few actual recognisable part numbers on it. So there's an awful lot on here. This is for just a SCSI interface. There's just an absolute shitload of electronics on here, but all, almost all, almost completely unrecognisable. This is the async sync interface. Again, here we've got a rebadged Raytheon chip number here. These look like UART chips. There's, I think, Signetics UART chips, 2692. I think that's a fairly standard UART chip from back in the day. And again, lots of chips with labels on, so clearly they're either going to be PROMs or PLDs on there. Quite a lot of stuff from VLSI as well. But if anyone knows what these are from, I mean, it's clearly some sort of, I can only assume it's military, not general aerospace, because just the sheer quality of construction. I'd be really intrigued to know what these are actually from. If anyone knows, I'll do some high-res photos of these and post them up on the website as well.